Hello, my name is Jessica Murphy. I'm currently a fourth year business leadership and commerce student majoring in entrepreneurship and marketing. Ethics is such a complicated and diverse issue and topic to talk about. Ethics is this way because it's so subjective. There is no right or wrong answer. It's just people's personal values and different things that take into effect. If you look at the traditional frameworks and different models to look at ethics, you have some of the four main ones.
This includes consequentialism, deontology, utilitarianism, as well as virtue ethics.
The most common scenario when considering these different ethical perspectives is the train dilemma. One's response can provide insight into their view on ethical perspectives and morals. However, when we look at marketing, things get a little bit more complicated, as marketers need to create a balance between ethical perspectives, their own ethical perspectives of the business, as well as remaining competitive within the market and against other companies who might have different ethical perspectives and values. The ethical marketing mix is a good tool to keep in mind, as it's something that clearly shows the path to shape ethical marketing strategies. It breaks it down by the 4 Ps and gives a really holistic view on how marketers can practically implement more ethical standards within their strategies. I believe all marketers should try and incorporate bits from all the elements within this marketing mix into all of their strategies, becoming more ethical and just doing better ways of marketing, as they're all very straightforward things. Marketers should always have their decisions align with the different parts of the marketing mix. For me, when I consider ethics and how ethics can then be applied into the business and marketing world, I think that using something like the ethical marketing mix is a great way and a great tool. However, marketers must take more of a holistic approach. I think when I implement and when I become a marketer, I've got to take more of that holistic approach and consider not just, okay, are my consequences to my actions morally, ethical, good? Is that how I'm going to judge it? Or the greater good of whole? I think taking more of that virtue ethics approach where it's based on character. So it's not just the action itself. It's not the consequence of the action. It's not the result. It's everything and all the little bits in between. And because there are so many moving parts within marketing and within a business in a whole, it's not just on its own and not just for one person. It's impacting so many people and to a greater scope than what I think marketers often realize. It's important to have more of that virtue ethics approach and not just, okay, I'm doing this and the results are good, the consequences of it are good, it must be ethical. That's not always the way if the actions taken towards it are not. Corporate social responsibility is something that I think is essential in every business and business department, not just marketing. It holds businesses accountable and reminds them to think about more than just their profits, thinking and contributing to the community and greater society. But sustainability and CSR are becoming increasingly important factors in influencing consumers' buying behaviour. This impacts directly upon marketers as it creates an opportunity for them to differentiate themselves based on both CSR and sustainability contributions of the business. However, marketers must act ethically in doing this in order to ensure that they're not exploiting the opportunity and exploiting customers' vulnerability and sensitivity to these issues. The average consumer doesn't know the nitty-gritty behind all the company policies and contributions and objectives that they're trying to achieve. So it's the marketer's job to act ethically when communicating these contributions. They must not exploit the consumer's lack of knowledge in order to gain additional profits. Ethics and marketing is something that is always going to come together and play heavy influence on one another, especially as marketers are the voice for the business. In my future career as a marketer, I hope to go into consulting and consulting for marketing. And this is an industry that has its own set of problems and challenges when looking at ethics. Not only does it have the ones that I previously outlined, but it also has the challenge of working with different businesses as a third party coming in. So confidentiality and raising conflicts of confidentiality or conflicts of interest. And where there are legal precedents for these, there are still these areas that are a little bit more grey, and that's where your ethical position comes into play, and I'll need to make decisions as they come and use my own ethical values upon this. I think this is going to be something that I will always face no matter what my career path ends up looking like. And my views on ethics will continue to change over time as I grow and continue to see alternative perspectives on the world and different ethical standpoints, and understand them will shape my own values and ethical perspectives moving into the future.